A very good day to everyone. Today we will be having a group discussion, but before we proceed into that, let's introduce ourselves first. First, my name is Reina Sakamoto and my metric number is 207443.
Hello everybody, my name is Chelsea Chakashan and my matrix number is 207307.
Hello everybody, my name is Ong Xiaohui and my matrix number is 206517.
Hi guys, I'm Lee Aija and my matrix number is 206450.
Hello everyone, my name is Lao Xiaopei with matrix number 205722.
So we'll start our group discussion now. Good day everyone. We are here to discuss how the banning of smoking in eateries is violating the right of people to smoke, as it can be seen as a form of mistreatment on people's right and freedom. On the other hand, non-smokers think that they have the rights to breathe with smoke-free air and be healthy. In my opinion, I think that everyone is responsible to maintain the air condition, since air is the most important need for a human to survive. Smoke from cigarettes contains air pollutants such as nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrocarbons, which are carcinogenic. This will cause environmental pollution to the atmosphere.
I absolutely agree with your point, as the implementation of the smoking ban could improve the air quality overall. I think smoking should be banned indoors. The consequences of smoking needs to be acknowledged, as it is 10 times more harm than the burning of diesel from car exhaust. This is because smoking will lead to the emission of carbon dioxide and methane. By the way, the bulbs left from cigarettes will also cause pollution when disposed of at the public areas, such as beaches, rivers, and oceans. Study shows that organic compounds such as nicotine, pesticide residue, and metal seeps from cigarettes bulbs into aquatic ecosystem, becoming actually toxic to fish and microorganisms. Thus, the content of carbon dioxide in the environment increased tremendously.
You could be right, but I have a different opinion. There are many different degrees of life risk nowadays, and individuals make choices every day based on their own preferences. The choice frequently involves uncertain consequences and risks as well. So it is important to note that all the risks involved are often greater than the risks from secondhand smoke. An estimated report by the Quebec government shows the risk of dying from an accidental injury is stated to be 5 times higher than the risk of secondhand smoke.
Could you be more specific on that?
Yes, here are some examples. Statistics shows that sexual relations are far more dangerous, with 414 persons dying annually of AIDS. Traffic accidents cause an amount of 685 deaths, which you can see is twice as much as secondhand smoke. Next, flu and pneumonia, which are often spread and easily caught in public places, account for 1,368 cases per year, or 4 times as many as secondhand smoke. So what I'm trying to point out is that although secondhand smoke is causing some health issues to the non-smokers, but the human rights of the smokers should not be burdened as well.
Well, as you can see, there are many cases where smokers didn't die from cancer or anything else. But on the other hand, the individuals that die from lung cancer or other respiratory problems are the family members of the smokers. This means that they didn't choose to smoke, but still they were killed by the deadly secondhand smoke. About the deaths that you said just now caused by traffic or AIDS, these are accidents that happen while being unaware towards the risk. Where smokers have the choice to protect the people they love, why do they still choose to smoke?
In my opinion, I still strongly agree with Aija and Xiaopei. This is because smoking will bring a lot of negative effects to humans and also the environment. Smoking will cause lung cancer, thus making it a health threat to those who breathe in the same air. Therefore, I strongly support the banning of smoking as it is not a form of mistreatment on people's rights and freedoms. It should be clear that everyone is responsible to take care of the environment.
Besides that, it is also valid to keep human rights of non-smoking staff from being posed to secondhand smoke. We are referring to non-smokers such as children with asthma, women in pregnancy, old folks, and many more. It might be dangerous for them to expose to cigarettes. They are high risk. It is because they are high risk of developing respiratory condition and underlying medical conditions. The government could go one step further by banning smoking inside family homes. But enforcing such a rules would be difficult as it may invade their privacy behind the doors of their own home. On a side note, this banning could also help to reduce the risk of fire in public areas. How about you, Rina?
Yes, well, I am beginning to see where Aija, Xiaohui, and Xiaopei are coming from, but I'm afraid I still agree with Chelsea in this matter. There is a slight difference between the human rights law and tobacco control policies, and it is important that we understand we should not misuse human rights law to control tobacco control. I'm sorry, let me repeat myself. There is a slight difference between the human rights law and tobacco control policies, and it is important we understand we should not misuse human rights law to help defend ourselves against smokers. So, in fact, one could argue that the tobacco industry has been more proactive in using human rights law to attack tobacco control policies. So, to put it simple, is it logical to consider that smokers have rights too? Then is the action of banning their rights to smoke in places that allow smoking not a violation of their rights? Does that not sound hypocritical to those of you who stand for human rights to be respected?
I agree completely with Rina's point of view. As human beings, we each have rights. That includes smokers as well. So I don't think we should be biased to whichever parties regarding their legal rights. Moreover, speaking of public areas, this is where the role of property rights takes place. It should be understood that most of the places regarded as public are in fact places open to public for various purposes. Property rights and contractual freedom provide more effective solutions than bureaucratic rules in satisfying preferences, also making individual choices more compatible. We should also note that non-smokers are not going to be forced to enter a restaurant for smokers only, as they could bring their business directly to any other smoke-free restaurants, right?
I think you could be right, but I still have my own opinion about it. I don't really agree with the actions of people smoking at the eateries. According to Xiaopei's opinion, smoking actions will lead to a lot of illness and negative effects. So, I really agree that the banning of smoking in eateries should be carried on and there should be a free smoking area at the eateries. So, it's clear that the banning of smoking doesn't violate the right of people to smoke.
Aisha, you have been quiet for a while. Do you have anything in mind? Care to share with us?
Since the negative effects of smoking were clearly visible, why do people still want to fight for the freedom to smoke? Wouldn't it be inconsiderate? According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, year 1948, Article 3 states that everyone has the right to live, liberty, and security of person. Article 19 states that everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. Article 23, first part, guarantees the right to contain safe and healthy working conditions. And last, Article 5 says that all have the right to humane treatment. What I'm trying to clarify again is non-smokers also have the right to live in a smoke-free, healthy life. So, smoking in indoor eateries should be banned.
Status related to smoking ban should be compulsory. Banning smoking helps in modeling a positive role for young people. One should reinforce this smoking ban regulation to the younger generations. This will help emphasize the youngster mind that they learn in school is indeed true. In another case, what if youngsters realize that smoking is a social norm in our community? This might tend their mind and they might be trying to smoke.
I do agree that non-smokers have their rights as well, but there are many types of establishments. For example, let us assume that a person or a group of people decided to open a restaurant or some other type of um, establishment that is intended for adult customers who are smokers, then this restriction is clearly marked outside of the establishment. The benefits of this type of system reconciles differently and sometimes conflicting individuals' preferences in a spirit of diversity and without coercion. So, as I said before, non smokers can take their business elsewhere. For those who enter, how do I point this out? For those who choose to enter a smoking area, have to recognize that they face a risk of secondhand smoke and have to acknowledge that the establishment will not be held responsible in regard.
He claimed that for smokers, smoking is so inherent in the act of socializing and conversing, relaxing, and enjoying the comforts of public life. But I think there are still many ways to enjoy relaxation and comfort in life, right? We don't have to choose the hobby which is harmful to ourselves. Nature is a gift given by Mother Earth, so we can do activities like camping, hiking, or just simply having a picnic at the riverside. We should cherish it and make use of it in a good way by not bringing pollution to the environment.
I strongly believe that smoking is a choice, and hence individuals should be aware of his or her own responsibility as a smoker, such as not to smoke in a smoke-free area, as that is adding on to unwanted exposure to secondhand smoke where it should not exist. Likewise, this sense of responsibility should not only lie with smokers, but also every other individual, that is non-smokers, and especially parents who play a big role in educating their children. Um, and it is very important for youngsters to learn that there are two sides to each situations. To every situations, and they should be responsible for their own safety at all times.
I still have different opinions with you, Reina. This is because banning smoking actually has a lot of benefits to all of the community, as there will be reduced amounts of air pollution and negative effects on human health. Therefore, we all can live in a good environment. So I think that our government is doing the right thing by banning smoking at eateries.
I can't agree with that. Somehow the tobacco industry is one of the largest income for the tobacco producing countries. But did you know serious child labor is happening in this industry? Studies shows that there are about 78,000 children work at the tobacco plantation in Malawi alone. But child labor is also widespread in other countries such as Brazil, Indonesia, USA, and many more. This also brings so many health problems to the children working on it, as they are exposed to the risk of nicotine poisoning through the skin and into the body. If we still promote smoking, we are not helping these suffering children.
Yeah, if speaking of children, the emission of cigarette is also dangerous for women in pregnancy. It might affect the developing fetus, for example, damaging the fetus respiratory system, risk of sudden infant death syndrome, giving birth to babies with abnormalities, and so on. This can be said that because smoking raises the likelihood of both early miscarriage and stillbirth, according to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC). On the other hand, it is also dangerous for a pregnant non-smoker. They can be unaware of the exposure to the cigarettes during they having their meal in the eateries. Thus, I fully recommend smoking bans in public areas such as eateries.
All right, I see that all of us have quite a strong stand on our own point of views, whether it is supporting the statement made or vice versa. I think what is important here is that we respect each other and it should be balanced out on both sides. So, what do you guys think?
Okay, as for me, an arrangement of the establishment that I've mentioned earlier can be also seen as an econom and sorry, economical efficient solution because all the parties concerned can find what they are looking for based on their own preferences. Another clear example would probably be the idea that some workers claim that they were forced to work in industries that are highly exposed to secondhand smoke. This establishment is not valid at all, for there is no law creating such an obligation. Once again, I still believe that we should not be eccentric to either parties. Human rights are there for a reason to protect each and every one of us from physical and mental harm.
Exactly, Chelsea. I feel it is more logical and effective for each and every one of us to acknowledge there will be differences in lifestyles and preferences when it comes to this issue, as laws can exist, but it will never be effective if smokers refuse to abide by it. Thus, it is more reliable to label it as a personal responsibility, not only of the smokers, but also the non-smokers to be more aware of their surroundings, whether it is a smoking-free area or vice versa.
In my opinion, I feel that banning smoking is more relevant at the indoor eateries because it will influence other customers when they dine in and it will affect their mood and emotions. However, banning outdoor smoking is not reasonable because it is out of the hands of the government. As Chelsea had mentioned earlier, property rights matters to all individuals of society as public areas are supposedly a free zone where individuals are free to do whatever they please as long as it is not against the law nor is it a threat to the government and society.
You have such a good point. I have slightly changed my thought. I will partially agree with the both sides. Generally, smoking indoors or outdoor will still affect the air quality, but as compared to indoor areas, the outdoor is too vast and often out of our own hands to control. So why not we start by avoiding smoking indoors? And it is not only can help improve indoor ventilation while also reducing the unwanted secondhand smoke.
I think we have all come to a common ground where the five of us have partially agreed with the banning of smoking in the interiors but not the exterior places. The banning of smoking is said to be a violation to the smokers, but on the other hand, health and environmental issues might resurface and harm non smokers in the society if the banning does not take place. I believe with the standard rules and regulations, also with the cooperation from all parties, this case scenario will help make a drastic change. A good change is what I'm trying to point out here.
Do you guys have any more ideas to add on? Okay, if
No,
not,
for
we'll
me.
come. Okay. Any more? No?
No.
Okay. If not, we'll come to a conclusion. So, in conclusion, we agree with the banning of smoking in the interest. All these studies prove that smoking brought heaps of negative effects to living things and the environment, such as health problems, environmental pollution, and child labor. Although tobacco industries act as an income from the producers, smoking is still not an environmentally friendly action, as we do not have the power to control what the public does all the times. Thus, what we can do is advocate the banning of smoking in indoor eateries as a stepping stone to help reduce the negative effects of smoking. So that's all for our group discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great
Thank you.
discussion.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.